Stay silent when you're angry. Denzel Washington's motivational speech reminds us that true power lies in self-control. In a world full of noise, his wisdom can help you rise above anger and turn challenges into opportunities. Stay with me, because this could transform the way you live your life forever. Listen up, because I'm about to lay some truth on you. Life isn't fair, and it never promised to be. Sometimes it's going to throw punches that hit harder than you thought possible, blows that leave you questioning if you can even get back up. Those moments will test you. And when anger starts bubbling up, when you feel that fire rising inside you, threatening to consume every ounce of control, that's the moment you have a choice. You can let anger define you, or you can take control. You can choose to let it fuel you in a way that strengthens you, not destroys you. Holding back when you're burning with rage isn't easy, but let me tell you, that's where real power lies. Silence and anger doesn't mean weakness. It's discipline. It's strength. It's the kind of character that only the strongest can build. Think about it. How easy is it to lash out, to throw words around in the heat of the moment? Anyone can do that. It's simple, impulsive, and let's be real, often destructive. But to hold back, to take a deep breath and refuse to let your emotions dictate your actions, that's the real challenge. That's what separates those who react from those who rise above. Anger is like fire. It can keep you warm, give you energy, and push you forward. But if you lose control, it will burn through everything. Your relationships, your opportunities, and yes, even your sense of self. That's why when the heat rises, you need to step back. Take a breath. Remember who you are and what you stand for. That control doesn't just protect you, it defines you. We live in a world filled with noise. Everyone's shouting to be heard. Social media, news, even our day-to-day interactions. People are always ready to offer their opinion, often without listening to yours. But here's the thing. Sometimes the loudest statement you can make is silence. When you choose not to engage in the chaos, when you keep your cool, you're not just avoiding conflict. You're commanding respect. Your silence can speak louder than words. Ever could. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not easy. In fact, staying silent when you're angry might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Your instincts will scream at you to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove your point. But think about it. How many times have you let anger take over, only to regret it later? How many times have words said in the heat of the moment hurt someone you care about or closed a door you desperately needed open? Now flip that. Imagine the power you'd hold if you stayed calm. Picture the respect you'd earn when people see that you're unshakable, that you don't get rattled, that you won't be baited into losing your cool. Staying silent doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It's about choosing your battles, knowing when to speak and when to listen, and standing confident enough in yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Think of it like boxing. An amateur throws punches wildly, wasting energy and leaving themselves vulnerable. But a champion, a true pro, they stay calm. They watch. They wait for the right moment to strike. And when they do, it's with precision. That's what you have to do in life. Don't let anger make you sloppy. Let it sharpen you. Let it refine your focus. Let it make you unstoppable. Of course, there are times when you need to speak up, when staying silent isn't the answer. Maybe it's about standing up for what's right, fighting injustice, or protecting someone who can't protect themselves. But even then, your voice must be purposeful, not reactive. Anger clouds your judgment. It turns you from proactive to reactive. When you're seeing red, you're not seeing clearly. That's why you have to step back, process the anger, turn it into something constructive. When you do, your words will carry weight. They'll make an impact, and they'll change the game. I've seen it over and over again. The loudest voice in the room isn't always the one people listen to. It's the one who speaks with conviction, with clarity, with control. That's the voice that changes minds. That's the voice that moves mountains. That's the voice that leaves a legacy. So, when anger rises in you, when you're ready to explode, remember this. You always have a choice. You can let anger control you, or you can take control. You can speak out of rage, or you can let your silence speak volumes. This isn't easy. It takes practice. It takes discipline. But every time you choose silence over an outburst, every time you take the high road instead of stooping low, you're building something powerful. You're building character. You're showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, what you're truly made of. And that's priceless. It's like training a muscle. At first it's hard. Every instinct in you will want to give in. That anger will bubble up, threatening to spill over. But every time you resist, every time you take a breath and choose to process your emotions in a healthy way, you're growing. You're evolving. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just react to life, but shapes it. Let me tell you something. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits. There will be times when you feel justified in your anger, and maybe you are. But even then, it's not about letting the anger win. It's about channeling it into something that builds rather than destroys. Because here's the thing. Every time you let anger dictate your actions, you're giving away your power. But every time you control it, you reclaim that power. You grow stronger. You become unstoppable. When you master this, when you can stay calm in the storm, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. You'll walk into any room, any situation, and command respect without saying a word. You'll be the person people look to when things fall apart because they know you don't just survive the storm, you thrive in it. And that's what life is all about. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about rising to meet them stronger and smarter every time. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself, not just for others, but for you. And when you do that, when you choose silence over chaos, when you turn anger into power, you're not just living, you're leading. Let me tell you something. People notice. They might not always say it, but they see it. They see the way you carry yourself, the way you handle pressure, and that kind of strength doesn't go unnoticed. It commands respect. It opens doors. It sets you apart in a world where too many people are quick to lose their cool. Now, I'm not saying you should never express your anger. Holding it all in forever isn't healthy either. But there's a time and a place for everything. And in the heat of the moment, when emotions are running high, that's rarely the right time to let it all out. Instead, take that moment of silence to reflect, to strategize, to figure out the best way to respond to whatever's got you fired up. Think about the great leaders throughout history, the ones who truly left their mark. They weren't the ones yelling the loudest or throwing tantrums when things didn't go their way. No, they were the ones who could stay cool under pressure, the ones who faced adversity with grace and dignity. That's the kind of person you want to be. Whether it's in your family, your community, or your workplace, you want to be the one people turn to when things get tough. The one they trust to keep a level head, to make smart decisions, even when everything around them feels like it's falling apart. And let's be real, in today's world, with social media and instant communication, it's easier than ever to say something you'll regret. One angry tweet, one heated text, and you could damage a relationship, ruin an opportunity, or even destroy your reputation. But when you master the art of staying silent when you're angry, you're protecting yourself from those kinds of mistakes. It's like having a superpower. While everyone else is reacting, you're thinking. While they're speaking out of emotion, you're planning your next move. That kind of control, it puts you in a position of strength every single time. But here's the thing, it's not just about what you don't say. It's about what you do instead. When you feel that anger rising, channel it into something positive. Hit the gym, write in a journal, Meditate. Do whatever works for you to process those emotions in a healthy way without letting them control you. Because that's what it's really about, control. Not just over your words, but over your actions, your thoughts, your entire life. When you master your emotions, especially the strong ones like anger, you become the captain of your own ship. You're no longer at the mercy of every little thing that happens to you. And let me tell you, that kind of self-mastery, that's freedom. That's power. That's the key to living life on your own terms instead of being pushed around by every little frustration and setback. I know what some of you might be thinking. What if someone's straight up disrespecting me? What if they're pushing my buttons on purpose? Believe me, I get it. It's not easy to stay calm when someone's trying to provoke you. But here's the thing. That's exactly when this skill becomes the most powerful. When you refuse to engage, when you don't give them the reaction they're hunting for, you're taking away their power. You're showing them that they don't control you, that you're above their petty games. And more often than not, they'll back down. Bullies and troublemakers thrive on reactions. If you deny them that, they've got nothing. But even more importantly, in those moments, you're proving something to yourself. You're showing that you're in control, that you don't let anyone dictate your actions or your emotions. And let me tell you, that kind of inner strength, that's priceless. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This isn't going to be easy. There will be times when you slip up, when your anger gets the better of you. And that's okay. You're human. What matters is that you learn from those moments, that you use them as fuel to get better next time. Because here's the hard truth. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw challenges your way that make you want to scream, that push you to fight back with everything you've got. But it's in those moments, when you're standing at the edge, that you have the chance to show what you're truly made of. So, ask yourself, are you going to be the person who loses control, who lets anger take the wheel? Or are you going to be the one who rises above it, who shows grace under pressure, who leads by example? Every single day, in every single moment, you have that choice. You have the power to decide how you'll respond to the world around you. And let me tell you, if you can master this, if you can learn to stay silent when anger hits, you'll have a tool that will serve you for the rest of your life. It'll strengthen your relationships, helping you communicate more clearly and resolve conflicts without making them worse. It'll give you an edge in your career, showing your colleagues and superiors that you can handle pressure, that you've got what it takes to lead. And most importantly, it'll help you with yourself. It'll give you a sense of peace, a level of control that'll carry you through even the toughest times. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. That's not healthy, and it's not the goal. It's about processing those emotions in a way that serves you, about choosing the right time and place to express them. It's about being proactive instead of reactive, about taking control of your life instead of letting your emotions control you. When you can do that, when you can master yourself in the heat of the moment, you're stepping into a level of strength most people never reach. And that's not just power, it's freedom. Let me tell you something. When you start practicing this, when you see the impact it can have on your life, it becomes addictive. You'll begin to crave that sense of control, that ability to stay calm and rise above the noise. It's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about unlocking a whole new way of seeing the world. Where others see obstacles, you'll see opportunities. Where others see problems, you'll find solutions. Because when you're no longer wasting energy reacting to every little thing that stirs your anger, you open up space in your life. Space to focus on your goals, to uplift others, and to create something meaningful. Isn't that what we're all striving for? Now, here's what I want you to do. Next time you feel that fire rising inside, when you're ready to lash out, I want you to stop. Take a breath. Pause for just a moment. In that pause, remember this conversation. Think about the power of silence, and the strength it takes to hold your tongue when everything in you is begging to explode. That moment is your choice, a choice to rise above, to be better, to be stronger, a choice to show the world and yourself who you really are. Because here's the truth. You are stronger than your anger. You have greatness inside you, and you can't let frustration or rage dim that light. Instead, let it fuel you. Let it push you to grow, to improve, to become someone who makes the world better every single day. Because at the end of it all, what matters most isn't the angry words you didn't say or the fights you didn't have. It's the impact you leave on the people around you. It's the legacy you build. Stand tall. Stay strong. When anger comes, and it will come, remember that you hold the power. You get to decide how you respond. You can choose silence over chaos, grace over aggression, and clarity over impulsivity. And in doing so, you become a beacon of stability in a world that desperately needs it. That's strength. That's power. And you've got it in you. Think about the ripple effect of that kind of strength. Every time you choose silence in the face of anger, every time you rise above the chaos, you're setting an example. You're showing others that there's another way to handle conflict. You're teaching them that staying calm isn't just a choice, it's a superpower. You're creating a ripple that touches more lives than you'll ever know. It's not easy, and I'm not going to pretend it is. There will be times when you slip up, when anger gets the best of you. And that's okay. You're human. What matters is what you do next. Learn from those moments. Use them as motivation to do better next time. Because life will test you. It'll throw challenges your way that feel overwhelming, that push you to your breaking point. But those moments are where you discover what you're truly made of. Ask yourself, are you going to let anger control you? Or will you rise above it? Will you be the person who loses their temper, or the one who shows grace under pressure? Every day, every moment, you have the power to choose. And if you can master this skill, it will serve you for the rest of your life. Think about what this could do for your relationships. Imagine being able to communicate more effectively, to resolve conflicts without making them worse. Picture the respect you'd earn when people see that you can handle tough situations without losing your cool. Think about what it could do for your career, showing your colleagues and leaders that you're someone who can thrive under pressure, someone who's ready to lead. And most importantly, think about what it could do for you. The peace, the control, the confidence that comes with mastering your emotions. That's the kind of strength that carries you through even the toughest times. But let's be clear, this isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. That's not healthy, and that's not what this is about. It's about processing your feelings in a way that serves you. It's about choosing the right time and place to express them. It's about being proactive instead of reactive. About taking control of your life instead of letting your emotions take control of you. When you can do that, when you can master yourself in those critical moments, you unlock a kind of freedom most people never experience. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop being pushed around by every little frustration or setback. Instead, you become the captain of your own ship, steering your life where you want it to go. And let me tell you, the rewards are incredible. Not just for you, but for the people around you. When they see your strength, your calm, your ability to stay steady in the storm, it inspires them. It makes them want to do better too. And that's how real change happens. One person leading by example, one choice at a time. So the next time anger comes knocking, remember that your silence speaks louder than words. Your self-control is your superpower. Use it wisely. Use it often. And watch as it transforms your life and the lives of everyone around you. Go out there and show the world what true strength looks like. Not through force, not through shouting, but through the quiet, unshakable power of self-control. That's your mission. That's your purpose. That's your legacy. Make it count. Let me share something with you. The journey doesn't end when you start mastering this skill. In fact, it's just the beginning. Once you learn to harness the power of silence, in the face of anger, you'll discover a whole new world of possibilities. Think about it. How many times in life have you seen situations spiral out of control simply because someone couldn't keep their cool? How many arguments have escalated into full-blown fights, or misunderstandings turned into lasting grudges? All because words were spoken in anger instead of someone taking a moment to breathe. But that won't be you. Not anymore. You're going to be the one who breaks that cycle. You're going to show that there's another way. Imagine this. You walk into a heated situation. Tensions are high, and everyone's on edge, ready to explode. But instead of adding fuel to the fire, you bring calm. You listen. You observe. You take it all in and process it. And when you finally do speak, it's with purpose, clarity, and a steady mind that cuts through the chaos like a knife. That's the kind of leadership the world needs. Not the kind that shouts the loudest or throws the biggest tantrum, but the kind that stays steady when everyone else is losing control. The kind that keeps sight of the bigger picture and finds solutions where others only see problems. And let me tell you, that kind of strength, that level of self-control, it's contagious. When people see you staying calm in the face of adversity, it inspires them to do the same. You become a rock, a pillar of strength that others lean on when times are tough. But here's the real magic. It's not just about what happens on the outside. It's about what happens inside you. Because every time you choose silence over anger, every time you take the high road instead of giving in to the urge to lash out, you're building something within yourself. You're cultivating a sense of inner peace and self-assurance that no one can take away from you. And that, my friend, is priceless. This world will always have something trying to knock you off balance. There will always be someone pushing your buttons, testing your limits, trying to see if you'll crack. But when you've built that inner strength, when you've got that unshakable core, you can weather any storm. It doesn't mean you won't feel anger or frustration, but you'll no longer be ruled by it. You'll be in control. You'll decide how to respond, and that's the kind of freedom and power most people only dream of. You've got this within you. That calm, that clarity, that strength, it's all there waiting for you to tap into it. All you have to do is practice, moment by moment, choice by choice. And as you grow in this skill, as you see its impact on your life and the lives of those around you, it'll become second nature. You'll find yourself handling situations you once thought impossible, and you'll do it with a level of grace that sets you apart. Because this isn't just about silence. It's about becoming someone who stands firm in the storm. Someone who doesn't let the chaos of the world dictate their actions or define their character. That's who you are. That's the kind of person you were meant to be. And with every step you take on this journey, you're becoming that person, one choice at a time. Keep going. You're stronger than you realize. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what about justice? What about standing up for what's right? And let me tell you, I hear you. There are times when you absolutely have to speak up, when you have to fight back against injustice. But even in those moments, especially in those moments, you have to come from a place of strength, not blind anger. Anger clouds your judgment. It makes you reactive instead of proactive. It can take a righteous cause and turn it into a messy confrontation. But when you can channel that anger, when you process it and use it as fuel for positive action, that's when real change happens. Think about the great leaders throughout history who fought against injustice, the ones who truly made a difference. They weren't the ones who lost their cool at every provocation. They were the ones who could face hatred with love, who could respond to violence with peace. They were the ones who understood the power of silence and the strength it takes to turn the other cheek. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. In fact, it might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. There will be times when every part of you is screaming to lash out, to fight fire with fire. But that's when you've got to dig deep. That's when you have to remember why you're doing this. Yes, you're doing it for yourself, for your peace of mind, for your growth. But you're also doing it for something bigger. You're doing it to break the cycle of anger and violence that's tearing the world apart. You're doing it to show that there's another way, a better way. And let me tell you, the impact you can have when you master this skill is beyond anything you can imagine. Because you're not just changing yourself, you're changing the energy of every room you walk into. You're changing the dynamic of every interaction you have. Think about it. How different would your life be if you could face every challenge, every setback, every provocation with a calm mind and a steady heart? How much more could you accomplish if you didn't waste energy on knee-jerk reactions and angry outbursts? But it's not just about what you can achieve. It's about the kind of person you become. This journey, this path of self-control and inner strength transforms you from the inside out. It makes you more compassionate, more understanding. It gives you the ability to see beyond the surface, to understand where others are coming from, even when they're pushing your buttons. That's the kind of wisdom the world desperately needs right now. In a time when everyone's quick to judge, quick to react, quick to let their anger take over, we need people who can rise above, people who can bring calm to chaos, people who can find common ground where others see only division. And that's where you come in. That's your mission, should you choose to accept it. To be that beacon of strength and stability in a world that feels like it's spinning out of control. To show that true power doesn't come from dominating others or shouting the loudest, but from mastering yourself. Now, I know it's not going to be easy. There'll be days when you slip up, when that anger gets the best of you. And that's okay. We're all human. What matters most is that you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about getting a little bit better each day. Let me tell you something. The rewards are worth it. The peace you'll feel, the respect you'll command, the impact you'll have on those around you. It's beyond anything you can imagine right now. But here's the catch. You've got to commit to it. You've got to make it a priority. This isn't something that happens overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a whole lot of perseverance. But trust me, it's worth every ounce of effort you put into it. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you feel that anger rising, pause. Take a deep breath. Think back to this conversation. Remember the power you have within you, the strength that comes from choosing silence over anger. Then make a choice. Choose to be better. Choose to be stronger. Be the kind of person who can face adversity with grace and dignity. Because that's who you are. That's who you're meant to be. You've got greatness inside you. Don't let anger dim that light. Let it fuel you instead. Let it push you to be better, to do better, to make the world just a little bit better every single day. Because when it's all said and done, that's what really matters. Not the angry words we say, not the fights we think we've won, but the impact we have on those around us, the legacy we leave behind. And here's the thing. When you master this skill, when you learn to stay silent in the face of anger, you're leaving behind a legacy that will outlive you. You're setting an example that will inspire others long after you're gone. Think about the ripple effect you can create. Every time you choose peace over conflict, every time you respond to anger with understanding, you're not just changing that one interaction, you're changing the way people see the world. You're showing them there's another way to handle conflict, another way to deal with frustration and disappointment. In a world so divided, so quick to anger, so ready to fight, that kind of example is more important than ever. We need people who can bridge divides, who can find common ground, who can bring people together instead of tearing them apart. That's the power you hold within you. That's the difference you can make just by mastering this one skill, just by learning to stay silent when anger threatens to take over. But let me be clear, this isn't about being passive. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about being strong enough to choose your response, wise enough to know when to speak and when to listen, and confident enough in yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. It's about being the calm in the storm, the voice of reason when everyone else is losing their minds. It's about being the kind of leader people look up to, the kind of person others want to follow. And here's the thing, when you become that person, when you embody that kind of strength and self-control, doors will open for you. Opportunities will present themselves. People will be drawn to your energy, to your presence. In a world full of noise, full of people reacting without thinking, someone who can stay calm and collected stands out. Someone who can face challenges with grace and dignity, who can respond to provocation with understanding instead of anger. That's someone people want on their team. That's someone they trust to lead them through tough times. So, I want you to think about that. Think about the kind of impact you could have, the kind of leader you could be if you mastered this skill. Imagine walking into a tense negotiation where everyone else is at each other's throats, but instead of adding to the chaos, you bring a sense of calm. You listen, you observe, you wait for the right moment. And when you do speak, it's with clarity and purpose that cuts through all the noise. Or imagine being faced with a personal attack, with someone trying to provoke you, trying to get under your skin. But instead of taking the bait, instead of giving them the reaction they're looking for, you stay cool. You stay composed. You show them that their words can't touch you, that you're bigger than their attempts to bring you down. That's power. That's strength. That's the kind of self-mastery that changes lives. Not just your own, but the lives of everyone around you. But here's the thing, it all starts with a choice. A choice you have to make every single day, every single moment. It's a choice to be better, to be stronger, to rise above the petty conflicts and knee-jerk reactions that hold so many people back. It won't be easy. There will be moments when you feel like giving in, when you're tempted to let anger take over. But those are the moments that matter most. That's when you need to dig deep. That's when you have to remind yourself why you're doing this. Yes, you're doing it for yourself, for your peace of mind, for your growth, for your development. But it's also about something bigger. You're doing it to set an example, to show that there's another way to handle conflict, another way to deal with life's challenges. So I want you to promise me something. Promise me that you'll give this a real shot. Commit to mastering this skill. Commit to harnessing the power of silence when faced with anger. Start small if you need to. The next time you feel anger rising inside you, take a deep breath. Count to 10. Give yourself a moment to process before you react. And then if you can, choose silence. Choose understanding. Choose to be the bigger person. And as you practice this, as you get better at it, start paying attention to how it changes you. Notice how it affects your relationships, your work, your overall sense of well-being. Because I promise you, the impact will be profound. Start small if you need to. The next time you feel anger rising inside you, take a deep breath. Count to 10. Give yourself a moment to process before you react. And then if you can, choose silence. Choose understanding. Choose to be the bigger person. And as you practice this, as you get better at it, start paying attention to how it changes you. Notice how it affects your relationships, your work, your overall sense of well-being. Because I promise you, the impact will be profound. You'll find yourself becoming more patient, more compassionate. You'll start seeing situations from different perspectives, understanding where other people are coming from, even when they're pushing your buttons. You'll become a better listener, a better communicator. When you're not caught up in formulating your angry response, you can really hear what others are saying. You can pick up on the nuances, the unspoken emotions, the things that aren't being said out loud. Most importantly, you'll find a sense of peace within yourself, a strength that comes from knowing you're in control. You're not at the mercy of your emotions or the actions of others. That kind of inner strength, it can carry you through anything life throws your way. It becomes a foundation, a core of stability that serves you in every area of your life. So don't wait. Don't put this off. Start right now, in this very moment. Make a commitment to yourself that you're going to master this skill, that you're going to harness the power of silence in the face of anger. Because I'm telling you, it will be one of the best decisions you ever make. It will change your life in ways you can't even imagine right now. And it's not just about you. It's about the impact you'll have on others. When you master this, you'll gain the power to change lives, to make a real difference in this world. That's what true strength looks like. That's what real power is all about. And it's all within your reach. All you have to do is take that first step, make that commitment to yourself. So, what do you say? Are you ready to rise above? Are you ready to show the world what real strength looks like? Are you ready to harness the power of silence and become the kind of leader this world so desperately needs? The choice is yours, but I believe in you. I know you've got the strength inside you to do this. Now it's time to prove it to yourself. It's time to step up and become the person you were meant to be. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and the journey you're about to embark on, it's the most important one you'll ever take. It's a journey of self-discovery, of personal growth, of becoming the best version of yourself. So take that step, embrace the challenge, and get ready to transform, not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. Because that's what happens when you master the art of staying silent when angry. You become a force for change, a beacon of hope in a world that sorely needs it. When you show others what true strength looks like, not through words or anger, but through your actions, your character, your unwavering commitment to being the best version of yourself. That's how you make a real difference. That's how you leave a legacy that will outlive you. You've got this. I believe in you. Now it's time to believe in yourself. Let's do it. Denzel Washington's words about mastering silence and self-control resonated deeply with me, but it wasn't until I put them into practice that I truly understood their power. Let me share a moment that tested me in ways I never expected. A few months ago, I found myself in a situation at work where a colleague unfairly criticized me during a team meeting. It wasn't constructive criticism. It was a personal jab that caught me completely off guard. My first instinct was to defend myself, to fire back with a retort that would shut them down. But then, I remembered Denzel's message, the power of silence, the strength of staying calm under pressure. So I paused. I took a deep breath and let the moment pass without reacting. Instead of responding with anger, I listened. I could feel the tension in the room as everyone waited for me to respond. But instead of escalating the situation, I calmly asked clarifying questions to understand their perspective. That simple act shifted the entire energy of the meeting. My colleagues softened, realizing their tone had been harsh, and we were able to turn what could have been a heated argument into a productive conversation. Walking out of that meeting, I felt an incredible sense of peace and control. It wasn't about winning or proving a point. It was about showing myself that I could rise above. That day, I saw firsthand how mastering silence not only diffuses conflict but earns respect. It's a lesson I carry with me, a reminder that strength isn't in the volume of your voice, but in the clarity of your actions. So now it's your turn. You've heard the wisdom. You've seen how powerful these lessons can be, and now it's time to apply them in your life. Imagine what you can achieve when you choose calm over chaos, purpose over reaction, and strength over anger. You have that greatness inside you, and it's just waiting to be unlocked. And if you're ready to grow, to take control, and to build a life rooted in peace, purpose, and impact, stay connected. There's so much more to learn, so much more to share, and we're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button because this is where we grow together. This is where we find the tools to become our best selves and inspire those around us to do the same. You've got this. Let's walk this journey together. Subscribe now, and let's keep building the legacy you were meant to leave.